I hope to accomplish something really scientifically worthwhile for aviation.
It convinced me that it's anything but an aircraft, for one, and
on that target and take a closer look.
These kidnapping cases have baffled authorities and left families in agony. The truth is still out there. Do you have the answers? Watch now to uncover the most famous unsolved kidnappings. Amelia Earhart. In 1937, Amelia Earhart, a pioneering aviator and record setter, set out to achieve a groundbreaking feat: to become the first woman to circumnavigate the globe. She was accompanied by her navigator, Fred Noonan. On one of the final legs of their journey, they stopped for refueling in Lae, New Guinea, before continuing their flight over the Pacific Ocean. However, as they were flying towards their next destination, their aircraft mysteriously vanished. Despite an extensive search, neither Earhart nor Noonan was ever found. The disappearance of the Boeing 10E Electra sparked numerous theories and investigations, but the exact cause remains unclear. Both Earhart and Noonan are presumed dead, but their final moments are still a subject of speculation. Over the years, public interest has continued to grow, with several investigations into their disappearance, but the mystery persists. The circumstances surrounding their vanishing have led to numerous theories, ranging from a crash to an intentional disappearance, but no one knows the truth. Despite many efforts, including searches by governments and private organizations, the fate of Amelia Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in aviation history. Their story continues to captivate people around the world, and each year, the question remains: what really happened to Amelia Earhart? Bisson Dell. In 2002, Bisson Dell, a retired NBA player, disappeared while sailing in the Pacific Ocean. He was on his catamaran, accompanied by his girlfriend, Serena Carlin, and the boat's captain, Bertrand Saldo. After setting sail from Tahiti, the catamaran was returned to the island 14 days later, but with only Dell's brother, Miles, aboard. Once the authorities reached Miles, he reportedly overdosed on insulin, slipping into a coma and dying shortly afterward. The police suspected that Miles was responsible for the deaths of Dell, Carlin, and Saldo, claiming that he shot Dell in self-defense after the basketball player had allegedly killed the others. However, Miles insisted that he acted out of self-defense. Since the bodies were reportedly dumped into the sea, there was little hope of recovering them, making it nearly impossible to confirm his version of events. To this day, the fate of Bisson Dell, Serena Carlin, and Bertrand Saldo remains unclear, and no concrete answers have emerged from the tragic disappearance that shook the world. The mystery continues to linger, with many still wondering what really happened aboard that ill-fated journey. Natalie Holloway. In 2005, 18-year-old Natalie Holloway disappeared while on a graduation trip to Aruba with her classmates. Natalie was an ambitious and determined young woman, known for her goal-setting nature and clear vision for her future. She was last seen leaving a nightclub with 3 local men: Joran van der Sloot and brothers Deepak and Satish Kalpo. They claimed to have dropped her off at her hotel, but she was never seen again. The case immediately sparked a massive search effort, drawing in local authorities, volunteers, the FBI, and a reward fund that reached $1 million. The last known people to see her alive were the 3 men, but their statements were inconsistent and changed over time, making them the primary suspects. Joran van der Sloot was later convicted of killing another woman, Stephanie Flores, but the fate of Natalie Holloway remains uncertain. Despite years of intense investigations and media coverage, Natalie's body was never found, and no one has been charged in her disappearance. The case continues to haunt her family, with the uncertainty about what truly happened to Natalie still unresolved. The mystery of her disappearance is one of the most famous unsolved cases in modern history. Lord Lucan. Richard John Bingham, the 7th Earl of Lucan, was a British aristocrat who became the subject of one of the most notorious disappearances in 1974. Known as Lord Lucan, he was a professional gambler whose marriage had fallen apart, leading to a bitter custody battle over his children. His concerns about the welfare of his children, particularly under the care of his mentally unstable wife, Veronica, seemed to drive him to desperate measures. On November 7, 1974, the family nanny, Sandra Rivet, was found bludgeoned to death in the family home. Lucan reportedly attacked his wife, Veronica, after she went to investigate the nanny's death. Lucan fled the scene, leaving behind a bloody car in New Haven and what appeared to be the murder weapon. He was never seen again, and despite many reported sightings, his whereabouts remain unknown. The police named him the primary suspect in the murder, but they could never find him. Some theories suggest he may have staged his own death, while others believe he may have fled abroad. To this day, Lord Lucan remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century, with no conclusive evidence of what truly happened to him after the tragic events of 1974. Bobby Dunbar. In 1912, 4-year-old Bobby Dunbar disappeared during a family fishing trip to Swayze Lake in Louisiana. His family conducted an extensive search, but he was nowhere to be found. After 8 months, the authorities arrested William Cantwell Walters, a man traveling with a boy who resembled Bobby. Walters claimed the child was his friend Julia Anderson's son, Charles Bruce Anderson, but the police handed the boy over to the Dunbar family, believing him to be Bobby. However, Julia Anderson protested and insisted that the child was her son. Despite her claims, the boy grew up as Bobby Dunbar. Years later, after Bobby's death, DNA evidence revealed that the boy raised as Bobby was not actually him. The true fate of Bobby Dunbar remains unknown, and many questions still surround the mysterious circumstances of his disappearance in 1912. The story of the missing boy, mistaken identity, and unanswered questions continues to haunt the Dunbar family. Megumi Yokota. In 1997, 13-year-old Megumi Yokota vanished while walking home from school in her seaside village in Japan. Her disappearance was one of many unexplained abductions, but it wasn't until decades later that the true nature of her fate was revealed. The North Korean government admitted to kidnapping Megumi and other Japanese citizens for espionage purposes. According to the North Korean government, she had been forced to work as a spy, marrying and even having a child before taking her own life at 29. In a shocking twist, Megumi's family later received what they believed were her remains, but DNA tests revealed that the ashes were not hers. Further investigations revealed that her death certificates were likely fabricated. Some believe Megumi Yokota may still be alive in North Korea, living under a different identity, while others fear that her fate has been tragically sealed. Her case continues to spark outrage as Japan and the international community demand answers, and her family remains determined to bring her home. The mystery of Megumi Yokota's disappearance and the ongoing questions surrounding her fate remain unresolved. Harold Holt. In December 1967, Harold Holt, the Prime Minister of Australia, disappeared while swimming at Cheviot Beach near Portsea. Holt, an experienced swimmer, had often swum in the area despite the rough conditions on the day of his disappearance. His companions were unable to keep up with him, and he was last seen swimming out much farther than expected. In a moment, he was gone, vanishing without a trace. An extensive search operation was launched, involving local authorities, helicopters, and boats, but no sign of Holt was found. His disappearance led to widespread speculation and conspiracy theories, including claims of political intrigue, and even theories suggesting that he may have faked his death and fled. However, the official conclusion was that he had likely drowned while swimming, and his body was never recovered. To this day, Harold Holt's disappearance remains one of the most baffling mysteries in Australian history, with no conclusive evidence to explain his sudden vanishing. His story continues to captivate many, with questions lingering about what truly happened to the Prime Minister that fateful day in 1967. The mystery of these unsolved kidnappings will keep you on the edge of your seat. Want to hear more shocking secrets? Don't miss our next video, The Small Town That Hid a Dark Secret for Years. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a gripping story.